everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Morgan. Today I wanted to talk about this little trashy journal that I created. You guys have heard me talk about my scrap bin, and it was getting out of control. So I decided to just kind of sift through it. I sorted out everything that I thought was big enough to use for a page. And what I ended up with was a big pile. So then I had some smaller sheets and some larger ones. The larger ones I set aside for another journal, but I took a lot of the smaller sheets and created this little journal, little chunky fat journal. So, but I just wanted to kind of go over it a little bit, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bigger one, because obviously, you know, to be able to have a bigger book to work in. And so I will create that in another video if you're interested in seeing how I did that. But the first thing, so everything in here is out of my scrap bin, or things that I pulled out of the trash, or what would have normally gone into the trash. So the cover for this is a box of those breakfast biscuit things, Belvita, I think is the brand name. And I really didn't do a whole lot. I just cut the edges off to make a book. So you can just see that, the spine, you know, you've got the overlapping thing there. The point is to use, you know, use your trash and get it used up so it doesn't go into the recycling bin. And yeah, just make something fun out of it, something useful. And the premise behind this book is I wanted a place that I could glue stuff like that in, sort of like a glue book, if you're familiar with that. So yeah, what I like I said, I just had a bunch of stuff, and so like half of a doily where I had cut it in half to use on another page, or like I think it was a collage page that I used this on. I had the other half in there, so I just stuck that in, and then torn pages where I would use like collage, and then I just stuck them in here. And like this is just a painty paper, I don't know, just messing around one day. And then here's another section of that too. I had a couple different ones. I just kind of tore it apart to use some pieces in a collage. Most of the sheets in here are ones I used for collages or to put into a journal. And then I would have like leftover chunks. So like this here, this is the middle of the signature. And this was just a long piece of scrapbook paper, so I just folded it over and made, yeah, a little fold out. So now what I did is I first went through, let's see that little staple in there. I stapled the signatures together, each individually, just to hold them together because, yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to. It was easier for me to work with them, to sew them in if they were stapled in. Now, the other thing that you can do is to glue, well, let me back up a little bit. So I stapled the signatures together. So here's one signature. I stapled it together, and then I sewed it to another piece of this box. So I believe it was the top, the bottom, whichever. I cut it just a little bit smaller than the spine itself, and sewed each signature to that, and then glued that into the cover, just to kind of explain my process a little bit. Now, to make this easier, if you don't want to sew it, just glue it in. I have glued many signatures into journals, and I'll usually use like the Fabri-Tac glue, just because it dries pretty quickly. It's a permanent bond, and it's, yeah, I like that for projects like that. So if you don't want to mess with sewing, don't feel like you have to, you can totally glue them in. You could probably even depending on how thick your signature is, staple it directly to the signature, or the spine. But you know, depending on whether you want to see the staples through here, I would probably still use that extra piece to attach the signatures to, and then glue that to the cover itself. So I hope I'm explaining that the way that, you know, if you guys can understand that. So yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I had so many pieces of paper, and which it worked out really well. I ended up with 6 signatures, and you know, you can kind of see they're just kind of scrappy and wonky, and I absolutely love it. So my plan for this journal, like I said before, to use it like a glue book, to create in, you know, I think sometimes, at least this is how I am, I don't know if you guys are like this, but I will get really bored with a journal really quickly. You know, after working in it for so long, I just want to do something else. That doesn't mean that I'm going to throw that journal away or not work in it anymore. You know, I'll come back to it, but I just like to be able to pick up something different and just work in it for a minute whenever I get the urge to do that. So I like to have options for my journals, and just whatever I'm in the mood to work in, I'll grab it. So I have, you know, several journals I'm working in at any given time, and I have just found that it really helps. So this is a bag that I got in a subscription box from Sugar and Sloth. It had some die cuts or stickers or something in it. So I just, I need to cut this part open. I forgot to do that. So I need to cut this open so it'll create like a little pocket. And then of course the other side of that is right here. And then this is open so you can use it like a pocket. So yeah, you can just kind of see there's all different kinds of paper, and you could even use fabric in here. I wanted to do that in my head when I started this project. I was like, I know I have fabric scraps that I can use in this, and that'll be really cool. Then I forgot, so they didn't get added. But this is an old Uno scorecard that I found at the thrift store for $1. It was a whole box, brand new, never even opened, and they're already kind of distressed. You know, they have that old look to them, and I love them. I love adding them to my journals. So this one, it was a little bit too tall, and I wanted it to be just a little bit smaller. It probably would have fit height-wise, but I just wanted it to be a little smaller. So I folded it up, and then that'll just create a little pocket. I'll glue that down. Then I had just some extra, you know, papers that I had done some Tattered Angels, and just kind of colored that, and it had been sitting in my scrap bin for a long time. The center page here is just a bag that some washi, I believe, came in, or some stickers from, I can't remember the shop, Simply Gilded maybe. And then again, I just kind of folded it over the edge there just to kind of make a little pocket. You don't need to do, I wouldn't necessarily need to do that, but I thought it was just kind of fun. So yeah, and then these are halfway, they're glued down at the bottom to make like a little tuck spot. You know, I could glue it at the top to make a side pocket if I wanted to. All different sizes. I just kind of, if I had to do any cutting at all, I would have like pretty much everything fit. I don't really remember having to tear anything down, but a lot of these are just how I found them in my scrap bin, and I just popped them in there, and I didn't worry about, you know, the length of them. You can see there's just all different lengths, or widths, I guess, not lengths, and then height as well. I just wanted it to be trashy and scrappy. So and then I just had book pages, some just random book pages in there, and throw those in for some added interest. So you can just kind of see anything you want, you can put in these journals, and they're so much fun. It's really a good way to, and this kind of made a little pocket here. It's very thin. It's, I think this is the end of, or the other side of a bag to make it into the signature. This was kind of fun. This is just one of those bags that you get in Happy Mail. And so it was a perfect height. And just put that in there. And then you've got a pocket. Here's the inside page here. And then the other side here, which I need to cut this one down too to open it up. So you'll have a pocket on that side as well. So yeah, just, you kind of get the gist of it. Anything, you can put anything into these pages. Oh, here's the other side of that bag. It's not, this side is cut open here. So you got a pocket there. And I'll probably end up gluing something onto here just to kind of make that a full page. I had one of these brochures that come in the Hobonichi planners. And so I had cut like images or torn images out of it that I wanted to use in my journal. And I ended up just with this, well, here, I'll show you. I actually have it right here. This is what's left of it. If you guys know how huge these are, they're massive. And so I'm like, I want to use it up. I don't want to throw it away. So I think I have a couple of the images or a couple of the pages made out of that in this journal. And then, you know, a lot of the blank pages on one side and then it's the paper on the other. Totally fine, because then you can create whatever you want on that page. So. But I really had a lot of fun. And then I went ahead and made some smaller journals because I did have several sheets left. And so I'm gonna do a giveaway with those 2 journals. At the end of the video here, I'll tell you guys how you can enter those. I'll show them to you if you want to enter to win one of those journals. And yeah, I mean, you can just see, like, it was stuff I just didn't want to throw away because I was like, well, you know, I never, whatever. Stuck it in my scrap bin, and yeah. So this is how I ended up using it, and it was really a lot of fun. So the point is with these, or not the point, but the idea is with these, don't think about it too much as you're putting your signatures together and grabbing papers and stuff. Just go for it, and whatever it ends up being is what it is. I put on some music and just kind of went to town and had fun. Honestly, like that's the main thing. Just have fun. Here's the another section of that paper that I showed back here that I had the little scrap fiber that I tore down and made into several pages. So I use that for the inside here. And when I tell you that I busted that scrap bin, it literally was overflowing. I mean, I couldn't keep it in that bin anymore. And by the time I was done, it like fits in there completely. Let me show you. So you can imagine, I mean, this is full, right? And a lot of these are like smaller scraps. I've got a lot of these Hobonichi little booklet things in here. I've got some bigger pieces here that I just didn't end up using. A lot of just random stuff, but I've got all these like little pieces that were too small for actual pages. So those are things that I'll use to do like collaging or whatever. And then I just have some white cardstock in here that I had cut down from other projects. Just a lot of these little bags, stuff like that in here. So, but yeah, it was literally overflowing. And I did go through and organize it a little bit so that it kind of stands up. It's easier to flip through. And I thought, okay, never again am I letting it get out of control like that. I mean, it was just spilling out and everywhere, and it was driving me crazy. So, yeah, it was really nice to be able to go through this. And I did end up adding some things to this. Obviously you see these bigger pieces here, that were in, they were like underneath of it. And so I just popped them in here, and who knows, maybe I'll make another journal with those. But for now, this is kind of just my little scrap piece bin. And yeah, it's funny how it's a never-ending process, the scrap bin, right? But I used so much. I should have taken a before picture is what I should have done, because it was insane. This is just a little, it's kind of like a tag here that I had gotten in some Happy Mail, some scrapbook paper, just an image from a book. And this freaks me out, so I'm gonna cover that ASAP, because I don't like that. Any type of worm or anything, just no. So just some tea dye paper, scrapbook paper here, a little printable that I had. Again, some Tattered Angels with stencil, just on some notebook paper. This was a free printable that I had gotten from somewhere. I printed it out a long time ago, and it was just sitting in that bin. So I thought that was cute for a center page. And then you can, you know, just kind of create whatever you want on these pages. So and I thought it was a fun way to A, use up scraps, and B, create something usable out of those scraps that I can create in. So there's more worms. I don't know why I used them. I shouldn't have, but these actually aren't, these don't freak me out as much as that one with the little spots that look like eyes. No. And there you go. That's the end of the last signature. So it's rough. You know, the edges aren't perfect. I didn't use a straight edge, so everything's a little bit wonky, but I kind of like it that way. And I haven't decided how I want to decorate it. So obviously I just did some acrylic paint on the front of it. Just really quickly used my fingers. You can still kind of see through it in some spots. But I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Very simple project, and probably the sorting of the paper was the thing that took the most time. So I do have this little bag that I got in some Happy Mail from Pam over at Pocket Journal Pam. This was, I think, from an order on her Etsy page, or her Etsy shop, not page. I thought that would be cute, and look at it, it like fits perfectly on here. So I kind of was playing around with the idea of maybe gluing that on as kind of a background. But then I thought maybe I want to do some collaging, or maybe some fabric even. I don't know. I haven't really decided. So, but yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a bigger one. And I have the box I'm going to use for that. So you can kind of just see what that's going to be. Let me see if I'm in frame here. You can kind of see the whole size of it. Yeah, so you can see it. Grab my ruler here. So it measures about 6.5. Obviously I'll cut these edges off here by 10. So 6.5 by 10. But yeah, I thought that was perfect to make a journal out of. So obviously it'll be bigger. I wanted something, like I said, to be able to glue bigger things into if I want. All right, so now let's get to the giveaway. I have these two little journals here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some fabric ties. Let me grab a piece of fabric here so you can kind of see what I mean. Okay, so I'm gonna do, it'll be like a wraparound type of closure for you guys. And then, of course, you can just tie it like that. So I have 2 of these little guys, and they're pretty much the same size, a little bit different layout. This one had some wider pages here, and I was gonna kind of trim them down like I did on this to make it a little bit more, well, I say uniform. There's nothing really uniform about this, but anywho, I just thought that it was kind of cool sticking out like that, so I left it. So these are just some other pages. You'll see some of the repeat from my other journal that I made, but these have some different pages in them too. So just kind of flip through here real quick, like just one signature in these, but I thought it'd be perfect to make just a little glue book out of. And for this, for these 2 journals, I just stapled it directly to the cover. So there'll be 2 of those. So I'll be giving both of these away separately. And then, so to enter, I just would love it if you would share, well, first of all, comment below that you're interested and leave me your Instagram handle if you have Instagram. And you get a bonus entry if you share this on your social media. So it can be on Facebook, it can be on Instagram, wherever. Just leave me your handle below so that I can check those out and make sure to get you entered with your extra entry. So, and then obviously subscribe to me would be amazing. And if you follow me on Instagram, that would be great as well. So pretty easy giveaway. Not a lot of things to do. Just comment below that you're interested in the giveaway, and then yeah, your Instagram handle or anywhere that you end up sharing this video. So all right, guys, that is gonna do it for this video. Like I said, I'm gonna make my second journal, my big honkin' one, in a separate video. So look for that to come out shortly. All right, guys, thanks for being here, for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Bye.